Hi everyone, so welcome to Investing for Value. So today I've got another stock on demand. This is Planet 13. So it is an over-the-counter stock, meaning it's not really available for everyone. Though if you really want it, I'm sure you'll find a way to get it. So the price is $1.85, market cap 246 million. So in a scheme of things for cannabis companies, it doesn't seem like it's a very large company. But you just have to remember that's all coming from basically one store. Though this is a massive, massive store because it's the largest dispensary in the world. And it's based in Las Vegas, being voted #1 dispensary. So this is more turning out to be more like a tourist attraction rather than just a focused dispensary because it has 50 other like different retails, including food. Um, so you can just go in there and it's more like a tourist attraction. You get to see all these different range of products, just enjoy yourself and just have enjoy the entertainment that's available there as well. So this companies are more like growth mode, so don't expect too many like profits. It's not really producing any profits, but we'll get there after we go through the revenue numbers. So for the 3 months ending September the 30th, we had basically they jumped from 4.89 million to 16.69, which is a 241% jump, which is incredible. When you consider like the kind of jump in terms of revenues. And if they can keep like even half of it like ongoing, this is kind of like representing a very nice growth opportunity to get into. Um, and you're also looking at 9 months, which are just below 13 million, and then getting to 47 million, growing at 264%, which again is another incredible number. So like if you're growing these numbers at that rate, it's definitely showing that you've got something of value to be offering. And then though when we look at these things for losses, there's not much to look at here. They went 1 million loss of 3 month in 2018, and it jumped upwards. Though this kind of calculates on an accounting basis. It kind of counts the share compensation, which is a non-cash expense. It's just a company offering shares to its employees. Um, and basically, if you add it back in there, here they only made 400k. Here they only lost 400k, and then here they earned 300k. So for the latest 3 months, they were actually they were actually in the positives in terms of net profit. If you look into cash flow positive, they've even definitely more cash flow positive because they've got a lot of depreciations and all that to add in. Though we won't get too focused into like the cash flow side of things because like at the end of the day, they are pushing a lot of money out there, but they're also bringing a lot of money. So I think for this type of company, you're more looking at the growth rates, and if those growth rates can continue, it should take care of everything else here. As you can see here, like in the 9 month, the loss was 7.45 million, and they managed to reduce it down to 4 million, plus back in the share-based compensation, and that was about 5 million, and then this decreases to 1 million. So like you can see, like as they've been growing, the losses just like decrease very quickly. So I can see this company being net profit, it can be generating a very strong net profit in the future, though you do have to give it time to grow its revenues, which is doing very well. It's got 18 million in the bank. So you can basically look at this company and think that this is a company that's basically growing a really strong like business and a really growing sector. Like I don't see cannabis kind of like dying down. If anything, it's getting stronger as it goes. So like I think the business just gets stronger and stronger in time. After that, like they can just build out more kind of stores because like if they just build out this store concept into other kind of states, you've potentially got a company that's going to be growing really quick, with a proven business model, and going to be generating quite a lot of cash flows. Regarding this pricing, pricing is all right. It's not an incredible buying opportunity, but I think if you're there for the long run, then I think it's not too bad of a pricing. You can always like see if there's any cheaper pricing, though at the end of the day, in the scheme of things, this is a company that's growing very quick. Like if they were able to just increase 47, like technically, if we put into the 12 month, they're at about over 60 million in revenue, which is quite incredible. And if they're able to grow that by at least 50%, they well get that into 90 million. And then if they can earn some net profits on that, because mind you, they're at the stage where they're covering their overheads already. And then basically most things that come on top of that is going to be contributing to the profits of the company, which is going to be very nice for this company. Though, like I think if you get into this kind of company, you're more there for the long run because, like, at the end of the day, they're running a retail store. With retail, things don't happen really quickly. They have to happen within like 6 to 12 months, and that's when you kind of see the movement in terms of retail. You don't get to see the kind of push and growth you get to see in like software. So in terms of how is this company undervalued, overvalued? Like in the scheme of things, I'd say it's more or less priced right. I can't necessarily. I'm not going to say it's overvalued, but I'm definitely not going to say it's undervalued. So it's kind of like within this range where it's like it fits where it is. It's going to bounce back and forth. And then I think, but in the long run, I think the company is just going to be worth a lot more because they're proving they've got a very good business model that's growing very strongly. And the minute those, net profits start coming in, it's a big boost to this company. And they're also more like a real estate play as well. When you think about that, they're based in like retail. They've got all these different other retails as well. So it's like a retail property, and you're also getting a bit of the cannabis kind of exposure as well. So it's kind of like it's you've got like this next kind of phase of cannabis. Like you've got the cannabis growers who were selling the product, and they realized they couldn't get good enough, like they couldn't get the really high pricing for their products, and they also pushed too much on the overheads, and it turned out they're losing a lot of money. But this case, this is a company that earns regardless because they're a retail, they're a middleman. Um, and they have such a large variety, so they're building themselves as the ultimate place to be going if you're a fan. And if you're in Las Vegas, you're spending big. So this company is going to be growing very quick. It's going to build a name for itself, and I think in the scheme of things, yeah, like they're just going to be very profitable in the future. Looking at this current growth, like you don't grow at like over 200% and then drop off to no growth. So there is substantial growth still coming along, and in the end, basically they just have to grow out into more dispensaries. And this is going to be a company that's going to be very strong going forward, particularly how big the cannabis industry is going to be growing in the future. So if you ask me regarding if this is a company that's worth getting into, like I think if you've got a year or two, definitely it's not a bad proposition. Um, but don't worry about like you're not going to miss out on a lot of things if you don't get into it. Like there's always other opportunities in the market, particularly if you don't want to be investing in cannabis, or particularly if you don't have access to this OTC market. So yeah, like I think at the end of the day, like it's not a bad value proposition. Um, it can definitely go higher in the future. Short term we won't. It's like I think short term price will just fluctuate, particularly if the share price as well is up on Friday by 15%. What goes high must come. We should at least pull back because there's always a bit of profit taking. Um, so I think at this kind of pricing, like at the end of the day, it's not too bad. This company is proving itself that it can um, head towards profitability in the future. Even management has been using the words profitable growth, which is, very nice wording for when it comes to being a shareholder of a company. Apart from that, company is simple enough. It does a dispensary, it does retail, it's expanding its footprint, and the revenues are growing really nicely. They've got a bit of cash in the bank to keep this growth coming along, and the market cap's not too expensive in the scheme of things. So regarding that, I think it's up to you guys. Whether it's not a strong buy. Um, but it's also, yeah, well, it's also not a terrible company. So like it's in that middle ground where it's good if it's worth buying if you like things like this. If not, there is other opportunities. Also, yeah, like it's not kind of one of those things that everyone wants to invest in. So we'll just see how that goes. But until then, let me know if you've got any other questions or companies you want to talk about. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.